Hey guys, just wanted to do a bit of a review video on the Parkside Airless paint sprayer. Now before I bought this product, I watched a couple of reviews on YouTube and a few of them basically said don't buy the product, but I'm always very skeptical sometimes if people are overly negative. So I thought for £129, it's well worth the try. So as you can see, it's back in the box, which straight away is not a good sign. Basically used the product for about half an hour. Performance was great. The output was really good. The paint delivery figure was quite high. I believe it's about 1250 mil a minute, which was quite a high output for the 110 bar machine. The only thing I sort of found, as soon as I got it out of the box, the two hoses that go onto the bottom of the product, this is the pickup hose for the paint, and this is the this goes back into the spray line. This here is for your prime, so this goes back into the paint. Once it sucks up through here, it primes the system. These two hoses were on. Both these connections were completely loose, completely hand tight. So some of the reviews I had watched, people had said the machine leaks quite a bit. I'm suspecting that could have been the problem in their videos, that these were only hand tight. So trying to get the two pipes off, to get them removed, to take these off, to then retighten them. As soon as I pulled it, tried to twist this is a plastic fitting in here. It just completely snapped. So I ended up going out and getting a air compression fitting and put two together to connect to make the correct size. The next thing really for me was the main thing is, you can even see in the photograph the tension on the hoses there. The fact that the pickup hoses come out below the machine, you're having to bend them at a really awkward angle, as you can see by that photograph even, that for them to stay in the bucket when you're actually operating the machine, when it's on and vibrating, is very difficult. I actually find you had to get somebody to sit and hold, or you had to put something against the pipes, and it just wasn't practical when you're using the machine. Everything else was fantastic. I was really impressed. You know, the quality of the spray gun itself. It came with two nozzles, two filters. The length of the hose I found was fantastic. For the power of the machine, I was really impressed. But unfortunately, between these coming out loose, that's now broken. The machine is running, but it's not priming up anything, and it is also now leaking from in here. There seems to be a split up inside here. Unfortunately, there's none of them in stock anymore in Northern Ireland. I was in the middle of painting our house. The mist coat has just went on, a light mist coat. So I was coming back to do the next stage and I couldn't get it. So as you can see now, we've had to change to the air bar. It's a 600 watt paint sprayer. So as I bought this from B&Q yesterday, I had 20% off, or I would have, screw fix was cheaper, but with the 20% off made B&Q cheaper. So their stats are pretty much the same. The milliliters per minute is actually lower. So it's about 150 to 200 milliliters per minute lower than the Parkside machine. But the wattage is 50 watts higher. So this is 600 watt. The Parkside is a 500 watt. But in regards to that, everything else is the same. The length of the hoses, everything else is perfectly the same. But I was far more impressed with this machine. Where the pipe work comes out, it's far more logical. The pipe work comes out far higher up on the machine, and the hose is actually bent in this natural shape that just sits directly into your paint, and you don't have to worry about doing anything. Whereas the Parkside one came out down in here. As you can see, there was quite a bend on the pipe. Far more impressed. The Lidl machine I found as well it was quite difficult. This lever, sorry, it's quite painty, but this basically your on-off switch. You've got 5 power settings. That is quite a hard turn, if I'm being honest, to get round one way or the other. It is quite sticky. It's not a great system. Whereas the air bar has a nice pressure. You know, I've actually been running this machine not even on quite a lowish pressure actually for what it's performing like. It's very good, and it has an on-off switch on the side as well. And the prime feature I found far better. You've got the red toggle switch here, and it actually displays on the side what position it has to be in for priming or spraying. Whereas the Lidl machine has got a red toggle on the side. So both the writing, you know, spray and prime, but for indication in regards to what position it needs to be in, I wouldn't consider myself too foolish, but I had to actually look up quite a few reviews to see somebody actually telling you what position they had to be in. So it turns out the prime is when that's forward like that, but doesn't indicate that anywhere in the manual. But as I say, if anybody's thinking of buying it, it is fantastic value for money. I was doing a mist coat, so there was no, you know, there was watered down paint quite a bit, so there shouldn't have been any extra load on the motor. Just definitely check these fittings. As I say, because that's plastic, if you do buy it, I would really suggest you do go and get a compression fitting. I will just show you what I ended up getting in the end. So these are two air compressed fittings actually. So it's quite a small thread on that side. I can't remember the size offhand. I believe that's a 1/4 for your hose pipe to go onto. But as I say, the fact they have that out of plastic to me is absolutely ridiculous, because as soon as it gets a crack or anything, that's just going to be a broke. So do just be careful. As I say, all 3 fittings were loose on my machine. So if you do get it, do just definitely check that out, and hopefully it'll last you a wee bit longer than me. Thanks.